What's up, YouTube? If you're watching this right now, you most likely missed the Twitch stream. First and foremost, subscribe to the channel right now. You know what I'm saying? It only takes 3 seconds. And in the description will be the Twitch. Come over there and drop me a follow, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Yeah, we gonna watch this Cardi B album come out in 17 minutes. Like I said, I gotta be the first person in the world to listen and react and upload to it. So we gotta be fast. But I'm gonna try to be fast, but get my points out, because I feel like this is gonna be a good video, shedding light on a tough situation.
A horrific murder on a light rail train in North Carolina caught on camera. Now local officials are facing tough questions about why the suspect was still on the street.
In the seat behind her is 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown. Watch as he slowly opens a pocket knife,
I don't even
then
want to watch,
stands
bro.
and without warning plunges the knife into his victim.
And this wasn't some random man with no past. He had 14 prior arrests before this attack ever happened. And somehow he was still free until the day he crossed paths with that young woman on that train.
And like I said, my last time I watched one of these videos, it's so sad, bro, because anybody who sat in that seat that day, this could have easily been them, bro. Anybody who sat in that seat that day, bro, for nothing.
It's a beautiful face, and seeing her balled up, you know, looking around, not realizing somebody had attacked her, that was so horrible.
Now I want to talk about the story of 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Iryna Zarutska, who tragically lost her life in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a heartbreaking case that's made headlines for many reasons, but the biggest one is how it exposes just how flawed the system really is. Iryna Zarutska was a beautiful young Ukrainian woman, just 23 years old. Loved by many, she had a warm, creative spirit.
I be 2-3 in 2 months, bro. I can't imagine. Oh my God, bro.
And she poured into the people around her. She studied art and restoration in Kiev, Ukraine, the capital of the country, and her family described her as radiant, with a smile that could light up a room. In August 2022, 6 months after Russia's invasion, she left Ukraine with her mother, sister, and brother, searching for safety and a future. That's how she ended up in North Carolina, where she began building a new life. She enrolled at community college with dreams of becoming a veterinary assistant. In the meantime, she often cared for neighbors' pets, walking them around the neighborhood, always smiling, always spreading light. She worked in Charlotte's South End and was slowly moving towards independence, even learning how to drive. But for now, she still relied on public transportation to get around. And it was there on a train where the story takes a tragic ending. On the night of August 22nd, roughly 3 weeks ago, Iryna boarded the Blue Line train in Charlotte after finishing her shift at a local pizza spot. She wore khaki pants, a dark shirt, and had her blonde hair tucked under her work cap. She sat down, focused on her phone like so many of us do. What she didn't, however, know was that the man sitting right behind her,
as you should, right? You should feel comfortable enough to be in an enclosed space and not have to, you know what I'm saying? And it, like, transportation wise, like, and not have to worry about anything.
Never been there.
Instead of making it to your stop.
That man was 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown. For a few minutes, nothing happened. He sat there behind her, silent, staring out the window. Then in one quick, unprovoked motion, he pulled out a pocket knife, stood up, and swung over the seat. Iryna clutched her throat and face, not even realizing that her life had just been cut short. Within seconds, she collapsed to the ground and died. 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown was arrested minutes later and charged with first-degree murder. But this wasn't some random man out of nowhere. His criminal history stretched back nearly 2 decades, and court records show that his first arrest was in 2007. And over the years, he racked up over 14 arrests, including armed robbery, felony larceny, and breaking and entering. And in 2014, he robbed a man at gunpoint and served more than 5 years in prison. And after his release, things only spiraled. And by 2022, he was assaulting his own sister. But she dropped the charge.
Bro, like, come on, spiraling? It's spiraling and he's still out here. But the sister says she decided to drop the charges out of concern for his mental health.
Just out of concern for his mental health. And in 2024...
if he was really crazy, bro, if everything in his brain was really fucked like how they said it should be, bro, he would be in a mental asylum, bro. I don't want to hear that mental health bullshit, bro. He would be in a mental asylum if that was the case, bro. The nigga's just a dumbass.
2025, he was arrested multiple times for misusing 911 calls. During one arrest, he told officers he believed a man-made material was controlling when he ate, walked, and talked. And just 3 weeks before Iryna's death...
That sounds crazy, right? That calls for mental asylum. If he wasn't put in one, the nigga's just playing that card, bro.
A judge ordered a forensic evaluation, but still, this guy was still free. free to board that train and free to take that young woman's life. Even
So
his
we need to
uncle,
see that evaluation. A judge signed an order on July 28th, and this happened on August 26th, a month, and there was still no evaluation. Wait, it's unclear if Brown went. Okay, so they don't know. Okay. Well, we need a fucking evaluation before.
I was still free,
like,
free to board that
move
train
on.
and free to take that young woman's life. Even his own family.
I feel like the evaluation might be some bullshit now, depending on who it is, bro. They might try to cover it up and be like, oh yeah, he's diagnosed with this, and this. Loki should have happened before.
Raised alarms, and his mother actually said that she tried to have him placed in a long-term psychiatric facility, but legally she couldn't really do much because she wasn't his guardian.
See how stupid the system is, bro? His mother is not legally his guardian. Nigga, it's his mom, bro. She pushed him out.
His sister Tracy described how after he came home in 2020, he wasn't the same person anymore. He struggled to hold conversations, couldn't keep a job, and was often violent. And then, like we stated in 2022, he even attacked his own flesh and blood. And his sister said that he often believed that the government had planted a chip inside of him. And the worst part about this is that after the stabbing, this man told his sister that he attacked Iryna because she was reading his mind. So obviously this man was not right in the head. He should have never been on that train. He should have either been in prison or inside out facility actually getting professional help. But then again, it makes you wonder, does rehabilitation even work for people like this? I'm not so sure, honestly. I would like to think that everybody can be helped, but the reality is that some people are just so far gone to the point where they can't be saved. Now, when he was arrested for misusing 911 earlier this year, instead of being held, Magistrate Judge Teresa Stokes let him go on a simple promise to come back to court. Like, we're talking no bail, no supervision, nothing. After the stabbing, her decision was blasted as a failure to protect the public, and the judge has faced serious scrutiny, like she should. But according to the Charlotte Observer, she was actually following North Carolina's law and their bail policy, which makes release without bond routine for non-violent.
Bro, everybody in this situation, the judge, nigga, multiple times, bro. It's like when I'm at work, bro, and I gotta tell a kid, keep your hands to yourself more than 3 times. Nigga, get your ass in timeout. Go sit down. You're not playing. Nigga, you not play. You gonna watch everybody play and think about what the fuck you did, nigga. And then tomorrow, you better not come on the same thing. If you come in 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday, and you keep putting your hands on people, then obviously you're not learning. So we're gonna do something about it, right? You take action once you see that the what's it called? The lesson that's supposed to be learned, or the actions that are supposed to be taken and are not being taken. Nigga, you do something about it, bro. You just don't let the behavior continue.
Demeanors. But the strange part is that, while the charges he faced at the time were considered non-violent, his record clearly showed a violent past. And that has me questioning, and probably you questioning, what's even the point of
it? It's a thin line, because people do change. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of stories of people who got arrested for domestic violence, came out, turned their life around. You know what I'm saying? I'm 1,000% sure. But his track record is not showing that, bro. So why is he out?
These so-called laws if they don't actually protect the public? Very good question. Now, this story, along with the Charlie Kirk assassination, have been 2 of the most spoken about tragedies in the last week. Obviously, the public is furious about the death of this young woman, and I think there's something to be said about why stories like this seem to be happening more often and often. Because even though we have a justice system, you start to wonder, how well is it actually working? And why do we keep hearing about innocent people getting killed by people who should have already been?
I don't think that's a it possibly could be a justice system thing, but it's just people being dumb
up in the first place. And the question a lot of people are asking, and this is something that's kind of like in my head, right, which is, why does it always feel like criminals get protected while the public gets left vulnerable? Now, in this case, Brown was clearly mentally ill, and I think that's important to stress, because part of why he was the way he wasn't entirely his fault. But at the same time, the system knew he had these issues, and instead of getting him real help,
I'm not buying the mental health card. I'm sorry, I'm not. Maybe my head is in my ass. I'm not buying it, bro.
They just let him walk free. But I've also seen way too much sympathy for this killer. Some people talk like he had no control over what happened, and that's just not really true, okay? Because there's plenty
he was pondering. He literally sat there and thought about it before he did it.
They're not out here.
Come on now, what are we talking about?
On trains. That's a fact. We also can't ignore his past. This man wasn't just battling schizophrenia. This was someone with a long record of violent crimes. So yes, mental illness played a role, but this wasn't some random accident. I mean, it was years of violence, ignored red flags,
multiple
and a
repeated
system that
behaviors
failed to keep the public safe. But most importantly of all, this young woman. And I also want to stress this. I don't think this story should be turned into some black versus white narrative, because at the end of the day, this was another evil man taking the life of an innocent young woman. That's what matters here. So instead of getting caught up in labels, let's focus on how tragedies like this can actually be prevented. That means asking why violent offenders and people with a clear mental health crisis keep slipping through the cracks. Why judges, laws, and policies are protecting them.
Because the world's getting soft, bro. That's the answer. The world is getting soft, bro. Certain things you can't say anymore. Certain things you can't do anymore. Oh, we want to protect how everybody feel. Nigga, sometimes you got to say fuck how you feel, nigga. Sometimes you got to say fuck how you feel, nigga. You did this shit 10,000 million times, bro. We can't put you back on the streets, bro. We can't. We can feel bad for you all we want, but we can't. Just for the betterment of society. Nigga, if I'm the judge, he not seeing the day of light again. Previous to this, he's not seeing the day of light again, bro. Nigga, fuck how you feel. Fuck how everybody around you feel, nigga. Obviously, you not. You feel me? So we gotta, whoa. Come on.
Wrong people, and why it always takes an innocent life being lost before anyone starts paying attention. Another conversation that needs to be had is why it took so long for mainstream media to cover this story. So this happened on August 22nd, this unfortunate tragedy, but the story didn't really blow up until like around 2 weeks ago. I remember hearing about it on August 25th, around 72 hours after that happened, and I was shocked to see how few outlets were covering it at the time. It felt like the story was being suppressed. And I think there's one major reason for that, one I haven't really seen too many people touch on. So Iryna wasn't a white American woman, she was a Ukrainian refugee, and in the eyes of the media, that doesn't grab the same level of sympathy or attention, or so they thought. I mean, we've seen the stories in the past.
Yeah, anybody gets murdered in any way, there's a little sympathy in me. Fuck race, fuck everything. Like, nigga, just as a human being, hearing another human being got murdered, if there's no sympathy in your heart, regardless of who they were, nigga, you're a bad person.
Right? The truth is, the stories that blow up involving women getting hurt in some type of way are usually about white American women. And I want you to take a look at the difference between the massive Gabby Petito case or even Shanquelle Robinson. These are two stories that eventually blew up, but at the same time, it proves that media coverage isn't about justice, it's about what they can package and sell. Now, in this case, they had no choice but to cover it once the video spread, which is why in the past few days, this story has been everywhere, right alongside the death of Charlie Kirk. It's crazy to think that this woman fled a war-torn Ukraine looking for safety, only to end up losing her life on the train in the very country she thought would be safer. America's not really safe, though. I think we all can agree. If you can't even get on public transportation without wondering if something might happen to you, what kind of life is that? And the truth is, women already know this feeling all too well. Walking home after a night out, riding a bus, even just existing in public, there's always that thought in the back of your head, in the back of a woman's head, which is, what if something happens to me? Between the random acts of violence, school shootings, and the crime that pops up in every major city, safety in America is just not guaranteed. It's honestly,
and it's never going to be guaranteed.
You can really see it in the contrast.
It's a lose-lose situation.
I came home from Berlin, and I was walking around at 4 a.m. by myself, not a care in the world, headphones on, just chilling. And I even saw groups of women walking alone, even women by themselves just walking alone in the city.
That's why when I be walking, I be trying to keep a distance just to make women feel comfortable.
Not once did I feel unsafe. Let's just say try doing that in most major American cities and you'd be looking over your shoulder every 2 seconds, right? Honestly, I tried that in LA one time and I seen a Dodge Durango driving real slow and I thought that was
you're not from the hood, twin. You're not from the hood.
Okay, that was a mistake. But all, jokes aside, right? Like, this story is really messed up, honestly. Like, it really messed me up, especially seeing that video of the young woman, Iryna, covering her face, like, not even realizing that
I don't want to see the video. I've seen the censored ones where it stopped. I don't even want to see the full one.
It was horrible to see that video. I don't ever want to see that shit again. Yo, we have to stop letting criminals walk free when so many lives are being destroyed because of it. And the truth is, the system hasn't just failed once. It's failed over and over again at every level.
The thing is, you can't get every
to the
single
lawmakers,
one.
to the
That's the
policies
only
that
flaw.
prioritize
Or, like,
technicalities
bad
over
part.
public safety. Like, it needs to stop. The people who let this man out need to be held accountable as well, because
That's real.
when you
That's
ignore
real. So
violent
real.
pasts, when you dismiss red flags, when you put procedure over protecting innocent lives, this is the result. A young woman who fled a war-torn country ends up dying on a train in America because of decisions that should have never been made. And honestly, the system that let him walk free is just as guilty as he is. We need people in power to step up and finally do the right thing, which is keep dangerous criminals where they need to be. Because if not, this cycle will keep repeating itself. More innocent lives, especially women and children, will keep on losing their lives. Families will be shattered, all because of the system that chose to protect the wrong people. To anyone listening, can I ask you a question? Like, what can be done about things like this? Because the way I look at it is the only solution is be harsher on violent criminals.
This
But
Blackie
maybe there's
speaks.
something
I had
that I'm
no
missing,
idea the
and
nigga
of
looked like
course,
that.
like,
I didn't know there was a
open-
face
obviously, I'm
behind
open
it.
to hearing what you have to say. So please let me know in the comment section below. I would really appreciate it. Rest in peace to Iryna Zarutska. Such a tragic story,
shit.
man. Like, such a tragic story. And I just feel like something needs to be done and something needs to change within the system, because this is becoming way too common. But I'm curious what you guys think about this story. Drop a like for the algorithm, comment, subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you guys in the comment section below. Most importantly of all, I'll catch you guys in the next
I
video.
hope justice
I'm out.
is.
Peace.
I don't even know what justice would be at this point. Like I said last time I spoke on this, because like killing him is just like, it's not gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not bringing her back. Putting him in jail is clearly not doing anything. So I don't know. But rest in peace, man.